Welcome to Nolimitsradiotv with David, Candice, and Brittany.
Hello, and David's out sick, so we told him to stay home because, he has some health issues, and
we don't
he's sick. Well, he gets pretty sick, so we told him to stay home and get better. And so we have a very cool guy filling his seat, keeping his seat warm.
Yes.
To just do an ice-related thing there. But we have Randy Finch. He is back. You may know him from the Food Network, where he had his Ice Brigade show. He's a local Grand Rapids celebrity, and you see him everywhere. And he makes these really cool ice sculptures and ice bars and ice drink luges, which when he was on the show last week, he brought us, or last month, it was like it was last week,
I know, right?
Last month he brought us a big an ice penis, which
we love desperately.
We drank from, so there you go. That's in last month's show if you want to check that out. But Randy, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, he moved a meeting for us, so we're so glad you made it.
Who would want to pass this up? Come on.
Thanks. I wore extra busty.
I know, right? So thank you.
So glad you're here. Oh. And Randy even said he'd wear something low cut. So
yes, this is my version of low cut. It's my 70s porno look.
Great. No porn stash.
Wow.
Cool. So thank you so much for joining us, and let's what's been going on this week, you guys? Brittany, you were sick last week, so
I was sick last
now
week.
You are with us. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's been going on this week?
Well, so I was doing my regular job, right? And called on somebody because, as everybody knows, I do skip tracing.
So explain what skip tracing is, because I had to ask you the first time what this was.
Basically, I am locating people for repossession agencies and stuff like that. I am in cars and stuff, so I have certain car companies that will get a hold of me, give me their stuff and help locate people that they can't find.
Mm-hmm. People that owe them money.
Yeah, or have not paid on their cars or anything like that. So anyways, I got this one guy, and he happened to be a pastor. And I knew this and stuff. Well, I've been calling him for like the last 3-4 weeks. Mm-hmm. He would not call me back. So then I went ahead and I, found his family members. He did not like that. So Mr. Pastor said he was going to put a hit out on my life.
Wow.
I was like,
he's got the power of the Lord behind him there.
Yeah, I was like,
he's going to put a hit out on your life?
He said, you ever call anybody in my family again, and I will effing kill you.
So is that like a Catholic fatwa, or what is
He's
that?
not Catholic.
He's a pastor.
Pastor. What religion is that then?
Yeah, you don't have to say his name, but do you know?
religion?
I have no idea.
Okay, but
he's not even in our state.
Some sort of
a different state?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow, it hit out on your life. My guess would be New York,
California.
Jersey. Oh, California.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never knew people could get that mad. But then again, remember the guy who stole my pop cans?
Yes.
He wanted to be a pastor.
Yeah, that was your date?
Yes.
That was your date who stole the car just so he could come see you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's dedication.
And then while he was at her house,
he never
stole
told me he wanted to be like an inmate pastor, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never.
But now he's in jail. So, but yeah, he wanted to be a pastor also.
Yeah.
So you have a way, I think, of bringing the best out in pastors.
Is that what they call it?
They feel so comfortable with you that
they just
tell you they're going to kill you.
I'm going to steal all your
They
stuff.
feel comfortable stealing from you. Like you have something special there, Brittany. I don't even know what to call it.
I don't think a lot of people do.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't have any pastor experiences.
Couldn't top that. My gosh. Yeah, none tried to smack me or something. How do you beat that? Getting assassinated.
I know, right?
Wow.
I'm not even famous yet.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, you will be then. Radio co-host gets assassinated by a preacher.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, this isn't quite fame, but it was interesting this week. I had 2 different people in the journalistic world reach out to me, and they find the show really interesting. So I thought that was cool.
Nice.
But one of them is associate art director for Forbes.
Oh wow.
And then the other one is a journalist in France who's been in the business for decades, and was spokesperson for a while for the Olympics team, and just so I'm talking to him about the show, and I'm like, sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's really exciting.
So pimping you out well.
Nice.
Pimping me out.
Yes.
Even the girls do us well.
The trio.
That's right. So I had that happen this week, and
that's encouraging. That's great.
Yeah, I thought that was
So did they have
cool.
any feedback or any?
Yeah, one of them's been messaging me and stuff just about some feedback, but they love the concept of the show, which Nolimitsradiotv.com if you want to learn more about us. And
because there's a lot of ways to watch and view the show.
Yeah,
right?
there are. Yep, we can and it's all channeled through the website, which is right here. And it's Nolimitsradiotv.com. You can listen to our podcasts on there.
Which you have a catalog, so you can go back and listen to previous shows.
Yep, and all of our previous shows are on there.
Okay.
So you can catch up, and it's just really cool. So they've been going through it and watching the shows, and the angle that we take with things, which is. We talk about a lot of things that are embarrassing or shameful to people.
Oh, definitely.
And we put it out there, and I think talking about it normalizes it. It helps people feel more comfortable in their own shoes because
it gives them that.
How many people have been threatened by a pastor?
None that I know.
They were the only ones.
Right. Someone out there has.
How many people have had a first date where guys steals a car to come see you? I don't think
steals your podcast.
How does that?
Willing to do hard time for a good time.
That's right. How many people?
That's his little Snapchat.
Hard time for a good time.
Hard time for a good time. A good time for a hard time. Or hard good time. A good hard time.
I like those. Those sound good. I can tell it's been a while since I've had a date. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
How does that feel?
Good hard time.
Let me think about that for a minute.
And pause.
Everybody stop.
You guys want to talk for a minute? We're going to be over here.
Yeah. So Brittany is actually in collections. So
that's really cool.
Many people,
very interesting.
Many of us have been called by collectors. So
please be nice to your collectors. This is pay your bills.
She's just trying to pay her own bills by doing her job.
And the sad thing is I'm so nice. He's like, you called me and you're trying to embarrass me, and I sat there. I said, sir, I just wanted you to call me back.
Right, and they know what they're doing. They know they're not calling you back. They realize that, and the only reason that you go to those links is that you have no other choice.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. I helped a person out doing that for a little while. It's the same thing. You don't really get anywhere being nice. After a period of time, there are certain people that will just take full advantage, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Mm-hmm.
If you are, they've got so much money to pay bills. They're obviously behind on all their bills.
Yeah.
They're only going to pay the ones that they want to get rid of. And if you're a nuisance, they're going to want to get rid of you, which means they're going to pay you.
Exactly.
If you're just like, take your time, they're going to pay the other guy who's calling their Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
So you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I just want a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, I just want to be able to pay my own bills.
Yes. Because I don't want to deal with collectors.
No.
Right.
I mean, I deal with myself on a daily basis. I don't want nobody calling me.
You just look in the mirror. You're like, you're really gonna write that check tonight. Write that check.
Don't call me.
You're smart and you're capable, and you need to write the electric bill tonight. You need to write the check for that.
You're
just
gonna be cold if you don't.
Oh, don't I know it?
Affirmations in the mirror.
We can do this. Together, we can pay our bills.
Right.
You don't have to resort to the streets anymore.
But you can. If you want.
That's part of her prostitution. Not that you
That's
were,
a different
but,
week.
The prostitutes you knew.
Oh yeah.
That was.
They probably pay their bills.
That was a story a couple weeks ago. They do it in trade.
Oh yeah, well that's not gonna work out too well.
You ain't got what I need.
So yesterday actually I was at a funeral because
I'm sorry.
my cousin, he was I grew up with him, but I really hadn't seen him for a long time, but he passed away. So I went, and it's at funerals, you always hear a lot about a person. It was actually kind of nice because I heard a lot of aspects of him that I never knew. So
So it brings together people from all aspects of his life.
Yeah, and I saw a ton of relatives and things like that. But he was just a year older than me, and he had heart issues.
Oh.
And
did he know he had heart issues?
Yep. But It's weird. Like, it seems like a lot of people are on my age lately and just like starting to, or it's changing, you know, like I've lost people my age and car accidents and cancer and just things like that. And now it seems more like people are having heart attacks and people, you know, and suddenly it's like, I didn't think I was old enough for this.
Yeah.
Right? It's weird to have.
Well, coupled with celebrities that you've grown up with, there's been a lot of celebrities that have passed.
Right,
lately,
yeah,
so.
well, recently, and they're all around my age.
Yeah, and people you've known about or listened to or seen for years and years who you think of as immortal. You know, it's hard to, like, I'll hear about a celebrity death and I'm like, man, they seem like they were so young, but they were young when I watched them 20 years ago.
Right.
Now they were 90. But you just feel, they just feel immortal.
Yeah.
So, because you still watch them on TV or you see old episodes of people.
Right.
That's going to be us one day. Immortal.
That's
Immortalized.
Right, immortal. They'll be like, they will live forever.
Watch the old episodes.
In infamy.
We will never die. Hear that, Pastor? We will never die.
Yeah,
Not even if you put a hit on it.
She will still come back.
So there. So what's been going on with you? Randy, you are always busy. This is your busy time of year with your ice sculpture business.
It has been a really weird winter with not a lot of winter in the winter.
Yeah.
So it's been warm. We had one cold weekend, which was last weekend, and that was great. Because,
because that was for Valent Ice.
Yeah, we had a huge weekend downtown Grand Rapids, sculptures all over the city, live demonstrations, and we really needed cold temperatures to be able to pull off some of the sculptures.
Yeah.
So when we were doing these, you know, getting ready for it, we set up sculptures starting on Friday and then go on, well, actually Thursday and then Friday and then Saturday, and it goes on through Sunday. So had that been 1 week later, I mean, it's 60, sunny, and windy out there right now.
What a different weekend it would have been.
Yeah,
and I'm showing some video right here of Valent Ice. This is from last weekend.
Yeah, this is the large 6,000 pound ice sculpture we did there, the octopus.
Yeah, but look at that. Like, you lit it up and it,
That's so cool.
yeah, it was just, I brought my kids and you got to meet 3 of my kids.
Finally, yeah.
And,
yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I think you met 3 of them, or you met 2 of them. I think maybe...
You had 2 and a friend, right? Was there 3? There was...
Yeah, I'm trying to think, who was I with? Oh, my nieces. I had my nieces.
Yeah.
My nieces are adults, and they are here also in Grand Rapids. So it seems like everybody's moving to Grand Rapids. Like, they're from the east side of the state, and everybody is moving here. And they love it here. Like, one of my nieces, she got married last year. She lives downtown GR, and she works at the hospital. She walks to work.
Oh, nice.
And she's starting another degree, and she just loves it here. So
yeah, it's one of the best real estate places, right?
Yeah,
very popular real estate. And I was from Detroit. I've traveled around the world, and I love it. I love it here. It's great. It's a small town feel, but big city. You can get anything you want here. Great food, great restaurants, and that's expanding too. There's more and more restaurants popping up. In fact, I just got word from somebody today about a new restaurant going in the building going right next to the Van Annel Arena. That new building right by Bistro Bella Vita that they're putting up. It's going to be a very high-end restaurant going in there that the chefs come out from Detroit, and it's supposed to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, cool. It's interesting because where the arena is, there's a block right there just to the west of it that seems to have a lot of turnover in restaurants right there. So I'm wondering, like, and it seems like it'd be such a great location, because the busiest part of the city is on the other side of the arena where Ionia is.
I think it was all just because it was venue driven. If it was busy at the arena, then they would get business. If there was nothing going on, it was just on the other side of the street. There really wasn't enough going on. So with this new building going in over there, I think that'll kind of bridge the gap a little bit more. But they also had some violent issues. Somebody got beat to death outside of that.
Holy cow! Wow.
So, that doesn't really help your reputation. It usually closes down a lot of restaurants. So that was one of the downfalls. They had a lot of fights in one of the places, and somebody was beat to death outside, and I think that was the final straw for that restaurant. So but you're right, there was 3 or 4 restaurants that had all cycled through that place right next door.
Yeah, but Grand Rapids is such a great city. And
it is. It's
the way it's changed the last few years. And if you ever have a chance, if you don't live in the area, you ever have a chance to come to Grand Rapids, it's Grand Rapids and West Michigan have been topping tourist lists for probably 2-3 years now, like worldwide tourist lists. And I have friends that come in from Chicago and stuff, and they get here and they're like, "Oh my God, this is awesome!" I'm like, "I know, I've been telling you to visit."
Well, and that's cool.
It's got a really nice feel to it. It feels very safe, despite the person getting eaten, which is very sad. But in general, it feels like a really safe place to be.
But what's so great about it is we're not even that far from the beach, and like there's so many little cities on the beach that you're like you want to stay in the city, great. You're like half hour away from going to
Holland and
Lake Michigan,
and we have the best beaches. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great hub, and always activities. We've got Art Prize, we've got a lot of different things going on in Grand Rapids. Beer Fest is next weekend.
Oh yeah, and you've done that in the past.
Yeah, it's always sold out. They always sell out Saturday. Sells out within like 10 minutes.
I saw that. Wow. There's still tickets available on
for Friday. So Friday. So if you've never been and you can't get tickets usually, this is the year to go. You can go on Friday night, which I think is better because during the day on Saturday it's kind of neat, but I mean everybody is kind of crap-faced drunk by 2 in the afternoon.
This is and Beer Fest is something that happens in Fifth Third Ballpark. It's the home of the West Michigan Whitecaps, our minor league baseball team, and so there's no baseball happening there. So they have all these things like Christmas lights around the holidays, and the Beer Fest there is
the whole
huge.
parking lot is turned into
so popular.
All sorts of breweries from all over the country and Michigan set up, and you can go around and you get these little tokens, and you can take little drinks of the different beverages. So it's a great opportunity if you like craft beer to go around, or if you like beer, or if you like women. Drunk women.
I don't like women, so
there's men, drunk men there too.
Okay,
there's drunk men there too. But it's a great place to go socialize.
In the cold.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, as cold as it's been, there you'll see people with all kinds of crazy outfits, costumes. People wear those meat necklaces. You'd always see like the pretzel necklaces.
Oh, they're like sausages?
So instead of just like the pretzel necklaces that people used to wear for the Beer Fest, because you're always two-handed with your drinks, they've got necklaces of food. So it's like a buffet. I've seen them with sausages and cheese and salami and Tommy Fitzgerald one year went with like a whole meat coat where he had like just all kinds of stuff velcroed all over his whole packaged meats.
Tommy Fitzgerald is a very well-known chef in our area, and he has a charity that helps inner city kids learn to cook and stuff like that. So that's who Tommy is.
Yeah. So it's a great time, a lot of fun, and the Friday night is always great. They have a lot of lights and entertainment. We do a live ice sculpting show. I think last year they had fireworks, and they had little street performers with fire dancers, and it's just a really, really fun, great night.
They should do like street performers where they have like sausages and knives, and they're like slicing. Kicking them out to people like those chefs. You go to the hibachi restaurants.
Yeah, right. Well, it's amazing.
Sausage for you.
It's so cold, but they heads up.
Open up. Get it in people's mouths.
Take that sausage. Literally. But they have fire pits all over the place. They have warming tents. It's even though it's cold, it's a really, really fun activity outside.
Yeah, and it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but if people have hotels and stuff, then they have shuttles.
Well, you get Uber and all kinds of stuff. There's
random strangers.
Yeah, get picked up. Whatever.
Find the least drunk person you can.
Go home with them.
Yeah. See, that's what you do. You go there and you don't drink, and then you're all set because everyone else is drunk and they're looking for a ride. So if you're the sober person, you can
pick and choose what you want.
Would you like a ride, young lady?
I would love it.
Perfectly sober.
Do you have candy?
I do. I know, they sucker. So, I mean,
but now Brittany's question to help figure out if someone's safe is, she's like, my first question is, are you a pastor or do you want to be a pastor?
Oh yeah.
Now is there filtering?
Do you return your pop cans?
Farther away from religion, the better.
Are your pop cans your own? Have you ever stolen a car for a date?
Wow, you've got like a whole criteria list. You just scan them.
All from experience.
Wow.
Oh, there's more. We'll leave it out.
I'm so sorry. You've had terrible luck. That is just. You need someone to screen your people.
I know. I need people to screen my people.
Yes. You need a professional screener.
Well, you had mentioned candy, so Randy did bring us candy today. So
this is something you mentioned.
Yeah, this is somewhat commercial, but I thought we could try it.
Yes.
They are Hershey's Carrot Cake Kisses. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to think of those.
I don't know. See, sometimes they go overboard with the flavors. Like I just saw watermelon Pop-Tarts, which I do not think are going to be good.
Ew.
Yes.
Wow.
But the carrot cake, I like carrot cake.
It smells like carrot cake, does it?
And
anybody want to do a sniff of the bag first?
That's what she said.
You think?
But the carrots,
Snip of the bag.
the carrots and bunnies, and I mean the theme-wise, it does go along. The packaging has little that look like little carrots. They have little green toppers
They
on
do.
them.
Oh, I didn't get a green topper one.
Well, no, I don't think they have them. It's just the
it's
packaging.
the green.
yeah.
The writing
And then
is
the-
green.
the
typeface
picture.
is green.
So-
Yeah. So these are
We will see.
carrot
Okay.
cake Hershey's Kisses.
Oh, they're weird
Your chocolatey.
with the filling.
Yeah,
They kind of.
it takes a minute. Okay, talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, so here's what
Very thick.
Here's what I'll say. The middle.
It's the cream cheesy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cream cheese, but it reminds me of really sugary frosting on like cake, which I am not a fan.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, I don't like
cheap
that.
frosting, right?
Yeah.
So does it have like an actual
Yeah, like a middle.
soft
Like
middle?
break them open.
Yeah, so it does. So it has, probably can't see that, but it has a little white filling, a little creamy filling.
All the things that have that.
It's hard on the outside.
All of my
white and creamy
favorite,
on
all
the
my
inside.
favorite things here. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna like show it. All my favorite things are like hard on the outside, creamy on the inside.
Hopefully
so
not
there we
orange
go.
on the outside unless you're banging a Oompa Loompa.
Well, it's been a while. It's been a while, you know. Desperate times.
And you know what? For those of you Oompa Loompas out there, I'm not knocking you.
We're not
You're
judging.
probably very good in bed, but I'm just saying,
I don't know, it's really been a while for them.
it's hard in the morning. Right.
Doopity doo.
Yeah. Dipping into chocolate.
Okay, yeah. See, so I slammed the middle, and then I'm like, oh, I'll eat another one.
There we go. No, I think it's good. It's definitely like a white chocolate that has the flavoring of carrot cake. And what's your theory? You just
Brittany's licking it out with the,
she's licking the
with
cream.
the tip of her tongue.
Oh, wow, it's getting hot.
She's hitting all the techniques.
Practicing for later.
How quickly
Oh, she's got a date
Easter
later.
sinks.
Maybe he won't steal a car.
He has his own. I left out.
The preacher.
No.
The-
No, I have a date tonight.
Oh, very good. Have you screened this person?
Yeah, so far he's okay.
Okay, very good.
Actually, I have a lot of people that have already friend requested him that are my friends. They're
Yeah.
playing like 21 questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah,
You have,
so
like-
feel free.
911 on speed dial, just in case.
Yeah, if I throw out their emergency help,
Yeah, you
you
have
go
a
to call
safe
me.
word.
Yeah.
I'm having so much help fun.
So much fun.
Okay, well, thank you for bringing these in.
Yeah, no, I had to look
Definitely a
around
new
or at
experience
Walmart.
for me.
I don't know where else they have them.
I thought I may have seen somewhere that Walmart may be the place for them.
It may
so.
be, but yeah, it's something kind of fun. You're looking for different things every
Yeah.
Easter, so they have the Easter area.
We're gonna have to do the Bamboozle challenge or Beanboozle challenge. You guys ever done that?
No,
No.
is that hurt?
No.
Oh.
So like
It
the
will make you
cinnamon
sick.
challenge, you'll
No.
damage your lungs from it.
So for Christmas, my brother works for Nestle. They
Oh,
make these
wow.
candies and stuff. And I played it with the kids before anyways. You spin this dial, okay? They have jelly beans in there.
Okay.
They have different tastes, okay? There are two that look the same, but one may taste like grass, the other one may taste
They're
like green apple.
Are they kind of like every flavor beans, where like
Kind
one's
of.
like
One,
earwax?
they'll
or-
be black, yes.
Okay.
One will taste like skunk, one will taste like
Oh,
black
wow.
licorice.
I think I'd like the skunk one
So
better.
this is a
'cause I hate
game?
black
Yes,
licorice.
yes. Dominic, my littlest guy,
Okay.
we all played. It was me and my kids and my brother.
Okay.
He ended up getting rotten egg.
Oh.
Poor little
Oh
kid threw
my
up
God.
all over my
Oh.
parents.
No! Oh my
What-
god!
So is it? How does this work? Is it a bag of
Yeah,
these
like,
candies?
Nope, it's at Five Below.
Five Below. What is
Yeah,
it?
the
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, the store.
yeah,
Five Below.
yeah.
Yep, and you can buy it's like I don't know how much it is, a couple bucks, okay?
Okay.
And then it has the little wheel in it and all the jelly beans in it, and you all spin it, and you
We
have
should
to
play
pick
that,
one.
yeah. We should play it on the show.
So do you pick the color that it lands on?
Yeah, you
Okay.
it'll land on a color, and you have to pick it, and just hope to God that you get the good one.
Then you get the good one.
I had like dog food was one. I had baby wipes.
What?
It was
Wow.
bad.
Wow.
I never got rotten egg though. That was scary.
I've eaten dog food.
What the
I
heck?
did as a kid.
Yeah.
I had tons of dogs. I counted my dogs up once. My sister and I counted all the dogs I had. In my childhood, I had like 50 dogs.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you had a kennel. You had a kennels work?
Well, here's why. Like, I grew up on, we had more than 100 acres.
In a dog kennel, obviously.
We did. It was like a little house.
50 dogs.
It was like a house. It wasn't all at once. But we had 100 acres, and it was woods and streams and yard and cornfields and my dad's airstrip and the really busy country road went right through the middle of it.
Okay.
So one, that gained us dogs and that lost us dogs. So people would drive past and say, "Oh,
there's a farm, there's a dog, drop it off."
Smiths have a bunch of dogs.
They get cars.
Like I would find them, adopt them, and name them before my parents were even there. I'd be like, "This is my new dog." Like I remember finding one on Valentine's Day, so I named it Valentine. And
of course,
I had a blind beagle once that got dropped off at the house. He was awesome. So he used to.
How was it blind beagle awesome? Like,
because he was a great.
Did he do braille?
Dog.
Did he bark in braille?
Yes, he did. He would play with the other dogs. Like we had this huge backyard. We had this humongous backyard in the country.
Hang on to somebody's tail.
He would play tag with the other dogs.
How?
Oh, come on.
No, I'm serious.
How does he know where they're at?
Because they would bark. They would bark.
Like Marco Polo for dogs.
And he would follow their bark. But the poor little thing, couldn't see. So he'd be like full on, like running, and he'd just like smash into a tree.
So would the other dogs like stand?
And then when that happened, he'd sort of like get thrown back, and he'd shake it off, and then he'd like, ruh, ruh, and he'd start like chasing them again.
So would the mean dogs like stand right in front of a tree and go, burp, burp, burp?
Right?
So he would then run.
No, they were just all flames. So yeah, and also we, my blind beagle. So he was awesome. I named him Grover. After the Sesame Street character.
Was he blind?
I was like 3 now. Because I was like 3, and that's the name that meant something to me.
Grover,
yeah, so I had lots of dogs. My uncle, who was, he was in a motorcycle gang when he got back from Vietnam. So he ended up with Doberman Pinschers, and then he couldn't take care of them, so he would give them to us. So then we started with Doberman Pinschers, which I love Doberman Pinschers. Yeah. And then we had a St. Bernard that had 14 puppies. Ooh. Which we had to like feed individually because she couldn't keep up with them all. We had a lot of St. Bernards, so a lot of hair and drool in my household growing up. Have you ever been around St. Bernards? Because they have like these like slimy like drips. They're like slime. And so they walk past things and they like wipe it across them and they shake their head. So I had this St. Bernard that was, and I'm not kidding, 300 pounds. He was
like a sumo.
He was huge. And he used to take naps in the middle of our country road. I think it's just the heat from the road or something.
Probably suicidal.
But he got hit. He got hit like 7 times. And he would total the cars because he was such a huge dog. And there was one time that he broke his hip. And so my dad had to take him to MSU where they have the big vet school because they had a horse scale and that's how they had to weigh him. So they weighed him on the horse scale. And yeah, I used to ride him as a kid. Like we had so many, we had a bar.
A pony when you
I know. We had a bar that was like a quarter mile from my house. And Calvert, which was my St. Bernard's name, for some reason he liked to go to the bar and lay down in front of the door. So then the bar would call our house and they'd be like, "Come get your dog. We can't get out." and so there was once when my mom tied Calvert up to one of those really heavy duty like kid tractors, the ones that were just really heavy from like the 60s.
Yeah.
And not on the wheels, but she tied him to that thinking, okay, that'll keep him in the yard.
Yeah.
And then the bar calls and says, "Come get your dog." And he had dragged that thing all the way down to the bar to lay in front of the road.
It's like a fire hazard, but people burned to death.
Our big St. Bernard. And he was really sweet.
Home and ride out.
I have so many stories about him that I've actually thought of writing a series of children's books on him. I'm not sure how I'd write this one, but there was one time my dad said that Calvert, who was not fixed, smelled a neighbor dog in heat. And so apparently he went to the house And
Don't write that story to children's books.
Yeah, I don't know.
He went to the house, and according to the owner there, Calvert's like essentially banging on the glass window because the dog is in the house. So our neighbor opened the door to be like, Calvert, go home, get out of here. And Calvert pushed his way in, mated the dog, and then went home. And, he's like this huge dog, so the neighbor had to stop him. And the neighbor was like, those were the biggest puppies I've ever seen.
You're not real familiar with children's stories, are you? We need to talk about
I know,
The bird, that should be more of a, that birds and the bees story.
Yeah, I thought maybe I'd turn it into he was in love, and then he went in and he proposed to her.
You've got that knocking on the door. It's the pizza guy. That's a porno, not a children's book.
That was my Calvert.
Yeah.
I have a picture of myself.
Calvert was a man whore.
Yeah.
Well,
and a doorstop.
He had a lot of testosterone going on, so
a lot of everything.
I have a picture of myself. I'm 2, and I'm sleeping on him, and it's just I'm this tiny kid, and he's just this mass of hair and fat and drool.
That's awesome.
Every woman's dream.
Yeah.
Fat hair, mass drool. Sign me up.
Yeah, lots of. Oh, there's another one. If you guys want to hear one.
Of course. As long as it doesn't relate to children's books.
This one could be a children's story too.
Are you sure?
No, we've already discussed it. The other one's not a children's story. Maybe this one can be, but not two.
Okay, so this was I was a newborn, and my 2 older sisters who were 6 and 4 at the time. We live in the country, so they're out sledding on their own on a hill, not just outside our house, but a little way, on our property.
Okay.
And my 6-year-old sister apparently went down the hill on the sled, fell off, and Calvert, his whole Swiss mountains, Alps instincts, kicked in, and he sat on her. And they could not get my other sister could not get Calvert off of my sister. So she had to come home and get my mother.
Okay, so those.
To come get Calvert.
How are you making that into a children's story?
Because he wanted to save her. He wanted to keep her.
Kill her. Keeping people from taking her to safety, right?
No, he was keeping her warm because she fell off.
But they couldn't take her to safety because
she couldn't.
Well, once my mom got there, she could get him off. But just my other
you're supposed to rescue him, not.
I thought maybe he would have
he was
grabbed her from the sled and drug her to the house or something. But no, he sat on her.
He sat on her.
Is it like CPR? Or you
Yes. My mom thought he sat on me once when I was a newborn. I was on the couch, and Calvert was so big he would have his front paws on the floor, and he would put his butt on the couch. He'd sit on it like a person.
Yes.
And she thought he sat on me once, but he just sat in front of me. He was very protective. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's why I'm a cat guy. Don't worry about that. My cat doesn't block the orders or keep
Candice turns blue for 5 seconds.
I like my little kitty Morton.
A small part of my brain died, and then I had to
Wow.
That's why I'm so smart, because my brain had to figure out how to use other parts of my brain.
You learn something every day.
There you go. Do you guys have any pet stories? That sounded like some sort of Hicks song. You're and that was the Hicks
she's
story
got a theme
hour.
song for
that was the Hicks story hour with Candice and her horny dog.
I've only had, I did have a couple when I was younger, but I'm a cat guy now, so I have 2 cats. I have one that I kind of.
Sorry.
I feel like I should be drunk or dizzy or something.
Welcome to the Dukes of Hazzard.
The Hazard is watching this show.
So, you have any other little musical?
I'm good.
She just gotta come get her. So no, just a little cat. It's about that big.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of a furniture destroying cat.
He's trashy. He just rips the hell out of everything, and but he's fun. We kept his claws on. Fortunately, the cat before still had her claws. We didn't want to declaw him, and then it wouldn't be fair. Plus, it's kind of mean, so we didn't declaw him. We just figured if you're gonna have a cat, that's what you got to deal with. And so, the furniture we know is short-lived, anyways, and so he's.
But the scratching post thing didn't.
Oh no, he's got a wheel that he scratches. He's got a little wavy thing with it. He's all kinds of scratch pads, but he still goes after the couch. He still goes after my neck and things like that. So
it's not a demon attack.
No,
it's just the cat.
Yeah, well, and like he'll be on there and he'll like start to slip, and instead of falling
my gosh.
he'll just sink in, So, but his thing is when I come home, like he'll run over. He knows to run over the counter because it's eye height. So he'll come in and run right to the counter. I'll walk over there and he'll just start rubbing on my face because I've got a beard.
Yeah.
So that's like the ritual every day, and then he climbs up on my shoulder, and then we'll kind of wander around, and he does kind of like a recon thing where he just walks around on my shoulders, and we kind of scope the whole house out.
Nice.
That's really cute.
So yeah, he's adorable. He's so cool, and he doesn't like to sleep during the nighttime too much. So every once in a while, I'll be sleeping, and all of a sudden he'll just like shoot right up in my arms and fall asleep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's great, but in the morning time, it's like he does not want me to get up, Just
weird because you hear so many stories about cats where they're like in your face, like beep beep.
Oh yeah, well yeah, if he's out of food and stuff like that, yeah, he will let you know for sure. But as long as he's all set with that, he's just he likes to sleep, and he'll climb up there and get in between us, or he'll just shoot up in my arms. So he's kind of my deal. The other one is Betsy's, and.
They get along okay?
Not so much. I mean, she doesn't know how to deal with it because he'll come up and he'll be like fighting, but then he'll also come up and he'll want to just curl up. She doesn't know which way it is, so she always
with
assumes.
Her cat?
Yeah, so her cat Trudy will always assume that the worst, and they'll fight. So
nice.
Every once in a while they get along and they'll take a nap together. But.
I kind of like watching cats. Like if they're wrestling, it's fun to
funny.
watch them.
Yeah.
It is fun to watch them.
Yeah, it's crazy the kind of personalities that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
the one loves to be in a box. Like he'll climb right in a box and hang out in the box for hours at a time, but then you'll go up even close to it and he just jumps out. So it's like he's in there stalking you the whole time. Like,
and then once his lair is discovered, he's like, wow, I gotta find him.
And he'll take a ball. He's got this bouncy ball, so he'll take it around the house. And he's learned that the higher he drops it, the bigger it bounces. So he'll take it like as high as he can, and then he'll let go of it.
That's so cool.
That's really smart.
Yeah, he'll climb up on top of the piano and then just kind of spit it out and it'll bounce, And
oh my god, that's really smart.
He's gotten pretty good at that. He really is smart. So.
You're looking at me like you want to hear mine.
Do you have any?
I have a dog that used to eat my food in my underwear.
In that order?
Your food? No,
I think it was underwear first.
Why was it that you kept your underwear in your food in your underwear? I'm trying to wonder. He ate his food.
No, it was a girl. It was a female.
She
yeah.
ate her food. Was it her food or your food?
My food.
Your food in your underwear.
She would eat my underwear. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm not the greatest.
Did you have edible underwear?
No.
Apparently, yeah.
She made it edible.
Now it is, yeah.
Yes. Every time I sat food on the table, I don't care where it was. It could have been in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
I'd walk away for a second thinking,
Yeah.
I'm going to come back and eat
Oh,
it.
sure.
Oh, she was gone with it.
Oh, human food is great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I would take a shower or whatever and go back in later to grab my clothes, throw them in the dirty clothes, and
The underwear would be gone.
Was it dirty underwear or clean underwear?
Dirty.
Okay. So you didn't accidentally go to put on your underwear and whoa, that's kind of slimy. That's all chewed on.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, whoa.
I swear.
I drank a lot last night because I do not remember these little short hairs. They're not mine. What color cat was it?
Dog.
Or dog, sorry, dog.
It was a German Shepherd. Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who had a puppy, and I was at her house, and she's having some get together. It was like a college reunion.
Yeah.
And I'd gotten there a little early, so I met her puppy and kind of knew her puppy got into clothes sometimes. So I'm looking, and there's her puppy in the middle of the living room with a really red lacy piece of underwear, just gnawing away at it. And I'm
my gosh.
Hey.
It's your dog.
I'm like, you better go grab that.
So for those of you just tuning in
Yes.
to that last sentence, where can they see you? Where can they find you at?
You're so good at this. Our website is
Nolimitsradiotv.com.
Nolimitsradiotv.com, and we've been actually doing more and more TV. So radio's in our name, but TV is too, and it seems like
our game.
It seems like we're doing a lot more TV and picking up networks, and that's where we're getting interest.
And if you are just tuning in, you can go back and watch some of your old episodes.
Absolutely.
So you can see
They're on the
famous ice penis episode.
Yes.
We won't say any more. You have to go find it.
The ice penis episode.
The purple penis episode.
Purple penis.
There's a purple penis episode too. You're right.
Was that
was
the,
in November.
Was that the booted?
Yes.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's where we got kicked out of our old studio.
Yeah. The best episodes involve penises.
Yes, the best episodes do involve
we have
penis.
some people. Yeah, man, we do have some.
Yeah,
penis
the
episodes,
sex
so.
therapist on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you have a lot
so
of
she
different
was-
guests. And
Yeah.
So you should definitely check it. And you can follow them on Twitter. What's your Twitter?
Twitter, Facebook, all under Nolimitsradiotv.
Okay.
If you search all of those. And we,
Periscope. You do a little Periscope.
Yeah, we Periscope sometimes.
Once in a
And we, we like to talk about the things that other people won't talk about because we really feel like so many things are considered embarrassing or shameful, and we just put them out there. And
Well, that and the fact, people go through this stuff and you think, oh my gosh, I'm so alone. No, you're not.
Right.
right.
Right. And that's the thing is that once you realize that, although not everybody goes through the same things, a lot of people do go through. I mean, there's billions of people all over that deal with different things, and they just don't know that, hey, this is not as uncommon as I thought. And it happens. It's not just me. You're not that special. So
Trust me, sweetheart, you're not special.
So people deal with that, and to know that other people deal with it, and hear people talk about it, and find out how other people can talk about it, where it's not taboo or something that you can't discuss with other people.
Right. I mean, I talk about my gay husband, and we've talked about depression a lot on the show, and some of the struggles we've gone through in our childhoods, and a lot of these things are things that a lot of people have gone through, but they don't really talk about it. We have some of prostitutes, some of us have abusive childhoods. We talk about this stuff because it's so much more common than people are willing to admit.
Right.
And I think it is. And the thing about it is especially in situations like, we've talked about, there are not a lot of people that want to talk about that with anybody else.
Right.
And that's the sad thing. Feeling like you have no one to talk to, terrible.
Right.
So being able to have us talk about the craziest things we go through, or which to us are normal. It's gotta be able to be refreshing to be like, oh hey, I can listen to these people. They kind of understand.
Yeah. See, if you guys have been around several years ago, Charlie Sheen would not be where he is today. You would know that he is not that weird.
Yeah, he could have dealt with his issues instead of
his tiger blood drinking.
acting out and tiger blood drinking. Oh my god. Okay. One night in Vegas. My gosh.
Yeah. So I mean, there you go. It saved him a lot of money. He could have just not paid all that.
We should have just been
blackmail
there for
money.
him.
And,
oh my god, it's crazy.
So so it's a great show, and I'm thrilled to be on here.
Thank you.
Again.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you here.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And actually, speaking of shows and stuff, like you had a reality show on Food Network.
I did. Yes.
And I know that you also work with sort of starting some reality shows.
Yeah,
I know you can't talk a lot of details about it.
And been on other reality shows of other people's as well. So.
Oh yeah, you've done that too. But I ran into this video, and I just we can talk about it while we play it, but it's this guy this is some reality show,
bobbing for
it's called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. So this guy stuck his face into this thing with a bunch of snakes, and he got bit.
Okay.
And this
can happen.
Yeah, so this is he's a celebrity because he's some sort of cricket player. And I'll back it up there again.
Famous?
Yeah,
see, that's
sports guy.
Celebrity nowadays
Celebrity
is a little
is
overused. Yeah.
But it just made me think, especially with reality shows, which you have done, and you're also dealing with now, and trying to set up some, trying to get some going. And where's the line? People are getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So in this case, a guy got bitten in the face by a snake.
Right, and I mean, let's face it. If he's really a celebrity, if he's making all kinds of money, and he's famous, and who needs to get bitten in the face? Like,
Right.
I need to get bitten in the face to get on TV. He does not. So,
Right.
you know, or bitten somewhere else. But the problem with this is that they really, like you said, celebrity is used loosely.
Right.
They reach way out there. It's a super reach around to get these guys as a celebrity.
Right.
And so these guys are trying to become celebrities, and we're trying to enhance what little they have.
But is that
And-
why with like the reality show stuff, you know, does it seem like they're getting crazier like
Well,
this?
sure,
I mean, I
it's-
know they go through kind of trends and waves of
It's the
types of things.
people are
but-
desensitized. So it's what was
Yeah.
exciting last year is just not enough now. Everything's
Right.
got to be bigger and better and faster. And the irony of it is the networks all want to believe or want to pretend like they believe that it's all real and normal. So the criteria that they put out there is we want you to bring me a reality show, but it can't be made up. It's all got to be real. It's all got to be real scenarios. These have to be real people with real situations. We don't want anything made up. But behind the scenes is if you show up with something that's not made up, that's not that extreme, like it's just not quite enough. So they want you to basically present it to them and say this is real, this is not made up, so that they can believe that or they can say that it's not. But they've got to know that people are just doing whatever it takes to get on TV like this.
Right, right.
And unfortunately, I think that it's probably going to get to that point where it'll get too far and then it'll bounce back.
Yeah.
Because I think that even with our show, a lot of people were like, man, we wish they would have showed more of how you made the sculptures and the tools that you used and the methods and the techniques.
Instead of just, here's what we're going to do, here's the final product.
Yeah, like the old how-to shows where they would show you, whether you're going to do it or not, they would show you this is how we do this, and this is the tool, and there was a great takeaway from that. And now it's more about fast. They wanted 3 different segments within this 22-minute of footage show where we made a piano, and then we made a pinball machine, and then we made a bowling alley, and all this is all got to happen in 22 minutes showing how we got the job, produced everything, delivered it, set it up. And it's just too much. And then they want to throw in a little bit of interaction and stuff in there. So they just want this fast pace and everything's faster and faster because everybody's got that short attention span. And so it seems like it keeps getting deeper and deeper into that. Where, a lot of the older shows were, kind of more relaxed. You take away, you sit down and enjoy it. So everybody's fighting for that spot. Everybody wants to get those ratings. Commercials are so hard nowadays because there's so many different places to advertise on the internet and everything. Before it was TV and radio and print, and now there's everything else. So they're not just fighting against 2 other networks. They're fighting against 175 other networks on TV alone, plus the internet, plus everything else that's popping up, any ways to advertise. So less and less people are advertising, so they're really doing whatever it takes to get that. And you get these people that want to be on so desperately that they'll do anything to be on TV. And
it kind of, as you're talking about it, it kind of made me think of maybe 20 years ago, the talk shows.
Yeah.
You had the talk shows, but those got more and more extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Where you ended up with the things like
Jerry Springer.
Yeah, Jerry Springer, and people are throwing chairs, or they're doing DNA tests. Are you the father? On the show,
Right.
and they're pulling out all this drama.
Right.
And I lived in New York for a summer when I was in college, and I worked for one of the local stations there as an intern. And I got access to a lot of the behind-the-scenes things at talk shows and things like that.
Right.
And it was really interesting before the shows because they would really ramp up the guests. They'd ramp up the audience.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd talk them up where it would be like, okay, now if you're mad about something, you tell them, you show them how mad you are. And they would really encourage them to just let it fly. And it's kind of where reality is going. It reminds me of that. At first it was just kind of like, oh, we're just going to follow them around Soho.
Yeah.
And they're all these teenagers or all these college students living in this place together. And let's see how it goes, And now it's all about okay, we're bored with that.
Who's going to get hurt now?
Right. And how much are they encouraging it? How much?
What was it? Was it Sally Jesse Raphael? What was the talk show that they had? Somebody came on and they said that it was one of those shows where somebody has a crush on you. And they brought on a guy for a guy.
Oh, for a straight guy.
Yeah, and the straight guy was extremely... He ended up killing him.
I remember that, actually. I remember hearing about that.
So I don't remember exactly. It was Jenny Jones, maybe.
Yeah,
that was it.
I remember hearing about that.
So they just set him up, so he thought that this, and they probably led into it it's this girl or that girl, so he really wanted to know.
Really, they're very attractive.
Yeah, totally. Oh, you're going to love this.
They watch
you
all the time.
Yeah.
same
So he
thing,
wants to
yeah.
come on national TV for that, and then it turns out that it's his best friend who's a guy, and he comes on and says that, and then after the show or a week or two later, he ends up killing the guy. Because they had just ramped it up to that potential and just created this explosive situation on national television that I don't even think it had aired yet. So, like, obviously they tape these things. And so the guy knew, he's like, this is going to be on national television, and I'm going to be really embarrassed, and just freaked out.
Yeah,
Well,
wow.
and then you gotta think back then too, being homosexual was like taboo.
Oh, yeah. It's not
right.
cool like it is now.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Right.
No, it is. I mean, really, nowadays, it's like, you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so I mean, that had to have been like, it's
that
just
was
so
probably,
weird.
That was at least
Yeah.
20 years ago, probably.
Yeah. So it was much more accepted now. It wasn't accepted as much then, and people just had that attitude. So it was like a big scary thing, and you know, and it was just unfortunate they put the guy in that position and all of it, and it's like throwing gasoline in the flame. You know.
Yeah, and I remember talking to one of the producers for Maury Povich, and she would talk about in setting up guests, like there were a lot of like backwoods hicks, you know, people that had never been on an airplane, people, you know, and all that, and she had to walk them through all this, basically set up everything for them, of course, get them to the airport, meet them at the airport, get them off the plane, spend the entire time she's with them, like the entire time they're there, she's with them. You know, she was giving out like her personal phone numbers to like people in prison to try to get them. This was all expected. And I remember her at one point, she was switching over to like do the books part, where she's like, okay, well, I set up shows on books, and she was so relieved
to get out of
she's like, I'm just setting up books. This is awesome.
Yeah, she was like in the pits, right? That's like being on the front line,
That'd be
with these
scary.
people, because that's what they were going after, was these scary people. From, you know, the scarier the better. You
Right,
know,
they wanted the people that
where they've got
people are
security.
Like, where
on
did they come from? Or just the really like backwoods people that you don't need to set them up. They just like
that all the time.
Yeah. So did you, when you found with your show, I mean, obviously it would be a 22-minute segment for we're building a piano, we're building a pool table, and there was a lot more taping that went into that. How did you find you were depicted and your team was depicted, and you guys were it was a very utilitarian type of thing, so it wasn't so much based on like, you know, intrigue and drama and all that, but did you find sometimes you'd watch it and it'd be like,
there was some hokey spots.
Like, they made that seem like a bigger deal than it was.
They did.
Like
some of the stuff was, which is, you know, like the worst thing that reality producers want is a star of the show telling them how to do the job, as far as how to edit it or what to shoot. And so
and you got to sign something that's it's like when it's on tape, it's ours. Like,
and the producer doesn't at the end of the Food Network actually then looks over what the producer does. So, you know, you're so far removed from that.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot of it that I feel I could have went back and said, hey, you know what, really, this is not as real as what you should. You should choose this because it's more real and it's more interesting as opposed to this. So they would have a scene where we did something that was kind of, they're like, oh my gosh, this little piece broke off the ice, which is not really that big a deal, and they're making it look like this huge deal. But there was another spot where they had 12 of these 65-year-old Italian Guido guys carrying blocks of ice up 2 flights of stairs because the guy was bullshitting me, telling me they had an elevator and they didn't. And I said, you know what? Screw you. If you want your ice up there, you figure out a way, because my guys are not carrying it up there. And they were pissed. They're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, we're not doing squat. We're going to sit right here and you figure it out. So he ended up calling all his buddies, and these 65-year-old guys are trying to lug this stuff up the stairs. Now that would have been good. So that to me should have been on the show, and that was real. Whereas, you know, a little chunk off the edge was like, it's not that big a deal. You know? So there was
actually really funny to see.
Oh, there was some fun. I mean, where I opened up the doors, because those guys showed up and they're like, okay, we got to move some stuff upstairs. I'm like, yep, come on over here. I opened up the doors of this freezer truck, and there's all these pallets of this huge blocks of ice, and they're like, you got to be shit. No way. Like, they're like, why don't you move that? I'm like, you talk to your buddy right there. I'll be inside. You know? So there was a lot of stuff like that where we were neck to neck. They were building this freezer. They built this freezer, and it was supposed to be done 2 weeks in advance. Instead, we show up with the ice, and it's still not done.
Oh, man.
And they didn't do it right, so it had all sorts of vacuum leaks in it. They're in there painting the thing. So the night before we're supposed to move the stuff in, I walk in there and there's all these cans of open paint. Everything's shut. They're trying to cool this thing down. I'm like, you can use Auschwitz in here. I mean, like, how are you going to open paint cans and there's airtight? I mean, hello. So I had to pull out all the cans, open everything up, fumigate it, basically get all the fumes out, and then shut it back down to cool, which just set us, and it just never did really work right. So there was so much of that where that would have been some great drama stuff to put in, but either they weren't there to catch it on film, or they had their own concept of where they wanted to do it. So this is like everybody, you know, they're done with the day. I go back. I put in a lot more hours than even they did. So they were gone. I go back. I'm checking everything out. And that's when I found it. So there's a lot of that stuff that goes on that they don't really follow you 24/7. So they miss some stuff, and they have to use what they have to make that happen. So, and they don't want to necessarily go back and recreate. If you go, oh, this is what happened last night. They don't really want to go set that off. It doesn't usually feel the same way. Some of the stuff they have to a little bit. Like we did an airbrushed painting, and when we got there, because of the melting and stuff, it had totally melted. And so they opened a box, and they're like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, this thing melted, it's melting all over the place. And they're like, oh, did we get footage of them painting that? I'm like, no, I said we should, but we never did. So then they went back and they got footage of us airbrushing, so they would have the pre-setup for that. So those are the kind of things that kind of get reproduced that aren't real. They had happened, they just didn't catch it on film, so we had to reproduce it.
Right.
So with us, we were lucky, we were presented well. I think that they didn't, we were fast-paced, we had so much going on. They really didn't have a lot of time to make us, you know, that crazy on there.
Right.
And the Food Network, we chose them because they don't make their stars look bad. They're not about, you know, us being demeaning.
It's not about the drama so much.
Yeah. We're not demeaning our employees or making fun of people. And, you know, we are just getting it done. So they want to keep their celebrities intact because they want them to be versatile for other stuff. So we felt safe with that, and that's one of the reasons why we chose them instead of two other networks that we're buying for that show. So we were lucky in that respect. Now, had we been on a different network and been racier and everything else, we probably still would have a show at this point.
How did you end up going with that network? Like, can you talk about were there other networks that actually offered it?
Well, it started out where Food Network never wanted to touch anything with ice sculpting because it wasn't food enough. But we had done some stuff on TBS and TNT before. We've been on a couple other shows, and they talked to us about it. And then our producer went around and pitched the show to these different people. Well, TNT had shown another show with some other ice sculptors. They had different segments with different ice sculptors on it, and they were kind of waiting to see how those ratings went when they got pitched our stuff. So they made a tentative offer and said, well, you know, we're definitely interested. We'd like to see our numbers on this other show, but we think this is better, you know. And so at the meantime, then our producer took that information and went back to Food Network and said, okay, now TBS is looking at us, or TNT is looking at us, and they wanted to make an offer on it. So we're going to go back to you and say, okay, now here's your other chance. So they were kind of playing them against each other.
Nice.
Because if there's interest from one.
Sometimes
these people.
That'll get you a better deal.
Yeah, or sometimes they'll buy it because they don't want it on the other network. It's a good enough show, it doesn't fit our network, but it would probably do great over there. So we'll throw $1 million at this thing and we'll do a pilot and then we'll lock it up for 6 years.
Oh, jeez.
They do. There's a pilot sitting on the shelves that they're like, well, you know, whatever, we'll film it, we'll see how it looks, but if it doesn't work out for $1 million, we just shut that show down.
Wow.
And that's nothing for them.
Yeah.
So they would, you know, and then they lock you in for 6 years, then you're not going to be able to do that show over on TBS because you're locked into them. So luckily when we did that, we did it with the caveat that if they didn't go with a pilot, if the pilot didn't go beyond the pilot within, I think it was 6 months, then we could go to somewhere else.
Right.
But then they ended up picking up the full series, which locked us in for 6 years. And then what that did was they held off on the pilot. So the pilot was supposed to air, then they turned the pilot into the first episode of the season.
Okay.
So it's definitely playing against each other. They all put out these lists of what they're looking for their new reality shows. These are the things we're looking for. This is exciting.
Yeah, which my understanding is that changes like every 6 months.
It changes with the new directors, every 6 months.
Right, that's what a producer that I know who does reality shows, he's told me, he's like, you know, I take the same shows, if I'm really passionate about them, I'll take the same shows and I'll repitch them every 6 months because it's a totally new set of people who are making the decisions. It's like, why is that changing so much? Like, what's...
Yeah, that doesn't seem like...
Well, it's your different levels.
He's
pitching to these guys, and then this guy picks 4 shows, and then he takes up the ladder. Well, if this guy doesn't bite on it, this guy never sees it. So, and these guys are lower levels, and they're changing up quite a bit. But throughout the whole level, they all change quite a bit. Shift from different places. So,
and this is like the network levels?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, so your producer that's got the show that's taking it around, he shows up to a meeting with like 10 different shows. And he'll pitch, a minute of each one and talk about each one. This is what we've got. And then if they like something, they'll say, okay, we're going to take this to the next. And then they'll get back with it. And sometimes they'll say, okay, we like this, but we'd like you to revise these and redo the pitch and come back to show it a little bit differently, because we think it would go if it's like this.
This will fit us better.
Yeah, so make it look like that, come back and we'll talk it.
Which makes sense, because if it's Food Network versus the Learning Channel versus, they're going to be looking at different things. Like the Learning Channel, if they've done your show, that might have been more of a how-to.
Yeah. Well, one of the shows I can talk about that we're trying is we're trying to work out a deal with Our Prize. So we're representing Our Prize to do a reality series.
Yeah, cool.
And so that's got a lot of different directions that could go. So it could go as an art show. It could go as a competition show. It could, so depending on what the channel is, you can gear it. It could be a travel show. So you're going to go travel around to these different places where these people are coming in to do the competition. So there's a lot of ways that could fit into something.
Yeah.
So again, should be, I think coming up probably next month, there's a big annual pitch thing in New York where everybody goes and pitches shows and stuff like that. So every time it comes around, then sometimes it gets reworked, or if you go and make the pitches, they might say, well, this is this, or this needs to be changed a little bit. So you learn from that, and then you go back the next time with those tweaks in there. But you've got two real big ones a year to try to sell it, and then the rest of the stuff is just your normal meetings.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, I know. It's really interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I look at stuff out there that the network's saying we definitely don't want to do this, this, or this. But I'm like, but you're playing it. But you have it right now. You're showing it like crazy. But the problem is they'll go with a show that's not that good, that they've run for 5 years, as opposed to one that probably will be better that's never run.
Because they have an established audience.
Established. Yeah. It's established. It's working.
Okay. And the same thing with the spin-offs. Like you see spin-offs of shows.
Oh my God,
it's
ridiculous.
Really? Like that deserves its own show?
And remakes of movies. Look at the movies. It's constant remakes. So the problem is nobody has any balls. They go out there, and if they pull the trigger on something, it's a multi-million-dollar deal. And if they screw up, that's their ass. So these are career decisions these guys are making. When they did our show, huge. I mean, they were running spots once every hour for a month before our show ran, and then they dumped $250,000 into each episode, and then they had the promotions on top of that. Then they flew us around to do the PR junkets. They had millions wrapped up in it, so they've got to get that money back.
Right.
And they're still selling it. Now they sell it around the world. It's playing in different countries now. They get stuff over.
That's so cool.
I hope you're getting residuals from it, but you probably aren't.
Not like I'd like to see. Yeah.
Typically, that is.
It's especially for the first shot deal.
Right.
It's more the upfronts. And
like if you've been going for a few years and then you renegotiate
it's your new deal every time.
Yeah.
So I mean, for us, it's more like mainly the upfronts, and then obviously any of the perks that we get from that. Other shows we do or whatnot. But the first show, it's they're writing the ticket. They got the power.
Yeah.
So and mainly I looked at it as, do I want to do this? Sure, but I wasn't desperate for it. So that's kind of why I got a pretty good deal on that one, because I didn't have to have it. I didn't care necessarily, I've got to get this show, I've got to be a star. It was like, if it works out to what I want it to be, great, but I've got a decent business, I like what I do, I'm fine with that.
You're good to go.
Yeah, that's not going to become your career.
No.
Show. Yeah.
So it was neat and still leading places, but...
That's great, yeah. Cool. Well, if you didn't get to hear this whole conversation, you can go to our website, Nolimitsradiotv.com, and go on your shows, and you can hear the whole thing. And, I think especially in Michigan now, we have a lot more people who are in the entertainment industry and all that. So over the last few years, I've been hearing more about this type of thing.
Sure.
But you don't really get to hear the inside stuff so much.
It's a lot different than
the behind the scenes and things like that.
I think people think it's more glamorous than what it actually is.
Yeah. Same thing with television. I mean, I've worked in television news for a long time. And,
it's a sweatshop. Literally.
It is,
I mean, when I got flown out to New York, I was on a Today Show, I was on ABC, I was on all these shows, but it was like boom, 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 So I'm finishing up this, I'm jumping in a limousine, there's running over to Dennis Miller to do his show, and it's like, okay, I'm not really getting to enjoy it. It's not like I'm going to go to New York and I'm going to be on the Today Show and then I'm going to hang out.
Right.
It's like I'm going to go do that and do these 5 other things afterwards, and I have to get up at 4 in the morning to get this ready. And so it's like go, and then you got 5 minutes on the Today Show to get your digs in. It's not like, hey mom,
right?
It's like you got to watch at 10 o'clock because get all your information out.
Right. I mean, and every time you go to a different show, you got to like hit your key messages, and they're like, make sure you say this, make sure you say this, make sure. So you're trying to like be jovial and show your personality, which you have a great personality and you have a great look. Like you're very.
She looks like she's gonna say butt.
No. And you got a great ass, Randy.
You know.
Let's slap that baby.
Take turns.
Oh, there we go.
But you have a great presence, and
thank you.
But I can see how it's exciting, but at the same time you're like, okay, now I'm going here. I gotta remember to do this and this and this and laugh and look like I'm having a good time. And okay, it was
deep
great.
down inside you're like,
yeah, then you're like, okay, this was so great, thank you so much, all right, thank you, commercial, and then you're like, liar.
It was like too much fun packed in too short a time.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have spent more time doing each thing that I got to do.
Yeah.
Access Hollywood, it was great. I went in there, but boom, they do the makeup, go on, do the show, get off, and instead of just I couldn't even hang out and watch the rest of the show. I had to jump and go.
Oh, wow.
So I couldn't hang out afterwards and talk to people.
You probably don't even really get to meet people. It's like they just throw you on set, and they're like, okay, ready, 3, 2, 1, you're on.
You're meeting the people on air, a lot of them.
Right.
It's not like you're going to hang out with a lot of these hosts beforehand. Some of them we did, but most of them it was like the Dennis Miller show. I didn't even make it to his studio when we were supposed to be on, so we ended up having to do a call-in. So I'm in the car,
wow.
And then instead of doing it in the studio, I had to do a call-in.
Oh, jeez.
So by the time it was over with, I got to the studio. I'm like, I didn't even get to go in a meeting.
Right.
It was all on air.
Right.
So there's a lot of that where it's just so fast-paced. It was fun, exciting, but it just, I love to go back and look at all the stuff, but it's not like I got to really enjoy it as much as I wanted to.
Yeah. If people want to watch it now, if they want to go back and watch Ice Brigade, how would they watch it?
It's difficult. Food Network doesn't really do Netflix and the other stuff as much because they package it. They package it and they sell it off in different countries, and they do runs on different things. If you go on to what is that? The Roku box there.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you go on Roku and there's a search item there, you can punch in Ice Brigade. It'll bring it up, and then it'll tag it, and so that if and when Ice Brigade comes up on a network or on Netflix or something, it'll tell you that it's now available.
Okay.
So it floats through. So it is. In fact, it's been on YouTube quite a few times, but every time it shows up on there, they take it right.
They take it off, right?
Right away.
Because people will like record it off of TV or whatever and then put it up.
I actually got the entire Italian series off of YouTube.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So it was on there very shortly, and I got somebody to download the whole thing, and I've got it digitized, and then it was gone. But I have the whole thing dubbed in Italian, and at the end of it, it's Randy Finch played by so and so, and it's great because there's me talking. I'm like, oh, it's Bamboozle.
You're like, I am one sexy Italian. You're like, wait, I should have done that.
Make
So yeah, there's a whole Italian version out there. I think
right on my meatball.
Yeah, it's crazy, and everybody on the show is dubbed, so that's all different voices they had to have.
How did you like your voice? Was it?
It was good.
Did you get like a sexy?
I did get a sexy voice.
Yes.
Yes, there was a couple people, I won't mention who, that were on there that didn't get such flattering voices, but mine luckily was.
They were like, what the hell is that?
Oh, hi, Randy. I'll be right back.
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, that's kind of a Mario Brothers. But it was just really neat because it had the whole thing in Italian like that, and I had a friend of mine who's a private pilot for some people, and he was in some other country, and he sent me a Facebook message. He's like, man, I just laid down, got some food, flipped on the TV, and you'll never guess what's on TV right now. This was like 2 months ago.
You're like, you've got great Italian.
Get out of here! Yeah,
awesome.
But it was in a lot of countries. It's just subtitled. It's still in English and it's subtitled.
Okay.
I think I know there's Italian. I think there's
because
Spanish.
that's a pretty big effort, I would think,
to dub it.
To dub all that. I mean, you have to hire people. That's a lot of production.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shows some dedication to it to be able to do that.
Right. Well, they have to buy the series right up front to use it for a certain period.
Okay,
of time.
so this isn't necessarily the Food Network
No, the
saying,
Food Network.
okay, Italy is a good market. For
Right.
us.
There's like a trade show. They go to a trade show, and there's a lot of countries that are smaller countries that they can't afford to be producing everything from scratch. So they'll get secondary shows, and then for them, they can get that, they can dub it, and run it out a lot cheaper than trying to produce that from scratch.
Okay.
And then they can run over and over and over and stuff like that. So that'll happen in a lot of countries. There's trade shows where it gets sold over and over. I'll get a notice saying it's been released in 18 more countries or something like that. So, but it's been global. You know?
So what sort of feedback have you gotten internationally on that?
I've gotten a lot
aside
of
from your friends
emails.
going like, click.
Yeah, right.
You know, like, is it like, oh my God, you're huge in...
Colombia. We were real big in Colombia when I was there. Yeah. So I would get emails or tweets from different people, or people just tweeting about the show, like, "Oh my God, you have to check this out!" And somebody's tweeting somebody else to watch the show in Colombia.
Yeah.
And it'll show up in my feeds because I'm searching for Ice Brigade. It'll show up.
Right.
So and in Italian it was De Boss de Glacio or something like that. So
wow.
it's the boss of ice is
Wow.
what they called it there. Because they were running
That's a pretty cool title.
Cake Boss, and then they were running Ice Boss.
The Boss of Ice.
The boss.
Yeah. So I was the
But,
boss of
I can
ice.
see that though. You kind of have that gangster.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I think if I'd have been back to back with the Cake Boss thing, because I think that's,
Yeah.
on that network, I think it would have went longer. I think it would have been less picky. Food Network, a lot of people are like, it's not food, it's not Bobby Flay showing us another way to cook freaking chicken. So, hello, it's entertainment. Get off it.
Right, and you are a chef, and it is something that launched off of your food career, and it's incorporated with food law.
Right. Oh, it is. It's part of it. And that's where it started. That's how I started.
Yeah.
It's to keep food cold. It's with these different events. But with the Food Network, luckily, I didn't see any negative feedback as far as us or the show itself or the entertainment. It was more about just that it wasn't food and it was another reality show or, it's just little things like that. But I didn't see like people slamming it, saying, "Oh, those are terrible ice sculptures," or we didn't like the show. It wasn't entertaining.
Right.
It just was. It wasn't the fit.
It's like it wasn't a good fit.
So it was really cool because
Yeah.
I mean, in the way, like it didn't go because people didn't like it, but the reasons they didn't like it wasn't because it wasn't a good show.
Yeah.
So I really coming back from it. I was really, really happy.
That's
And
really good.
I couldn't ask for more.
I wonder sometimes, because people bring up to me all the time in my life, they're like, you guys should have a reality show, because it's me and my gay husband and his boyfriend and our 4 daughters.
Right.
And the husband and I still live in the same house, like roommates, and people are always like, oh my God, you guys should have a show.
Yeah.
And I always try to think, like, how would they depict us? Like, they would have to, the drama, the thing is, like, between my husband and I, there wouldn't be a lot of drama. Most of the drama would be the kids.
But you know what though? You gotta think, okay, so maybe we can like half and half that, because we have my ex-husband who climbs through my window to sleep on my couch. Drunk. Yeah. So we can maybe like half and half that. So you got your gay husband, his boyfriend, and then we'll switch over to what's going on in Brittany's world.
So it could be my gay husband and my drunk husband, ex-husband. So it's changed over the years, but I think that there's always that voyeurism people like to watch. They like to watch people doing whatever, and
that's kind of they like get that. They like to.
They want to live vicariously. They want to be able to see what it's like to do that without having to do that. Or experience something that they couldn't normally get out to do.
Yeah.
So
I don't think anybody wants to experience anything we've been through.
Well, you never know.
I think for us it'd be like a sense of superiority, like, man,
I feel
those
so
people are wackadoodles.
better about myself.
Like, man,
So glad I'm not that girl.
I'm so glad I'm not her.
I don't know. There's some weird fetishes out there. You never know. Someone might have that.
Oh yeah, we're on the dating scene, so we've heard it all.
Yes.
We've heard it all.
But you do. I mean, everybody has a story out there. Everybody is interesting, and it's nice to be able to kind of peek through that window. And they don't. A lot of people don't want to risk themselves. They don't want to put anything out there. And so by watching this show, they can see what's going on without risking anything. Yeah. It's like Facebook. You can talk to people and not have to feel like you're risking.
I don't know. I like
They'll
stalking
talk back.
people.
They'll talk back.
Well, see?
Well, that's her job. She stalks people.
She's the stalker. That's true. That is your job.
But but our show is that. It's like putting it out there, and it's
Yeah.
It's safe for people because they can just
Yeah.
watch us and listen to us and listen to our crazy stuff. And
There's a lot of it, too.
And be like, man, I'm glad my husband isn't gay. I'm glad my husband isn't going to prison. I'm glad, it's just like...
Well, and that's the great thing about the show is that people can see that kind of stuff without having to risk it, Risking it for the biscuit.
Is that a biscuit?
Risk it for the biscuit. That's my little term.
Okay, I've never heard
Risk
that
it
one.
for the biscuit. Really? Oh, yeah.
No, risk it for the
Risk
biscuits?
it for... Yeah, it's like good, like coming on to a girl or trying to ask her. You're
Yeah.
risking it. You're putting it out there, so you're going to
Yes.
risk it for the biscuit.
What's the biscuit?
The biscuit. The biscuit. The
Oh.
biscuit.
Biscuits.
The biscuit. Well...
Yeah,
boobs doesn't rhyme with risk it, so... risk it for boobs does not sound as cool as risk it for the biscuit.
I want a clarification on what is the biscuit.
The biscuit is the booty, the prize,
Okay, got it.
the brownie, the cupcake,
The thing you're going to eat.
the nacho, the taco.
Yes,
That's the one, see? That's why I said biscuit.
That's right.
You wouldn't be here.
That doesn't fly here for some reason. So, we got to
So I
clarify.
gotta be a little bit more explicit.
We're all
on this show.
about clarity.
Yes.
So
Well,
everybody
now we know what the
understands.
biscuit is. You'll never look at a
That
biscuit.
taco.
Never look at a biscuit the same way.
I love.
Will you please pass the baked goods there, please? I can't say
But
it.
all my friends in like Australia and UK and stuff, they call cookies biscuits.
Oh.
So that's what I'm gonna think of
Cookies.
now.
Well, people
Yeah,
call
because
cookies.
they're like, oh look, we make Christmas biscuits. I'm like, they look like Christmas cookies to me.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like they call them
biscuits.
biscuits.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Scones and things are biscuits.
Yeah, but their Christmas cookies are actually like Christmas biscuits.
Are they shaped like trees?
Yeah, they're Christmas cookies.
Biscuits.
They call them biscuits. I know. That's why I'm like, I don't get this.
Okay, sorry. They're not the Christmas cookies.
That's right. Okay, so all this food talk. I know Britt and I are exercisers. We're trying to be.
Yes.
She's working with a trainer.
Yes.
And
Really?
I am.
And how is that?
I love
Trying to
it.
get to a gym.
I make him laugh every time because
Is he mean? Does he go?
No. Oh, he was pushing on the machines yesterday. He was like, "You're gonna do this the right way. Let me help you." I was doing squats. I hate doing squats with the bar.
Yeah.
She was like, "Go down." I'm like, "I can't get back up."
So does he give you a little program? Say this is what you're gonna do on Monday or Thursday or?
Well, no, I get there. Well, he'll tell me something like, "It's leg day," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Okay.
yeah."
All right. Did he tell you how many days you gotta go? Or
I meet with him once a week, and
Okay.
I usually go to the gym, or I try. I've been a slacker about 3 to 5 times a week.
As a trainer through the gym?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Struck up a conversation with him and was like, "Hey, I'll market you guys if you help me out."
Nice. Well, that is great. I mean, it's nice to have somebody in your corner for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, definitely. I
it's-
love it. However, he was mocking me yesterday because me, I'm the giggly one and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so we went and we started doing squats, and he's like, "Your face was priceless." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "You have oh shit."
Right now.
I hate squats. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't like squats. I can do any other exercise in the world.
Yeah. And it's, it's hard to make it to the gym. I try to make it to the gym and I'm, taking care of the house and stuff. But I saw this thing I want to show because this is it's a bicycle and it's actually really cool. I'm trying to figure out how to get one
He's on a bicycle.
because there's the bicycles coming up. This is the thing about like it's supposed to help people. It's made for people in third world countries who don't have electricity, but it's this bicycle that. I swear I queued it up to the bicycle.
These are what is this bicycle?
Where the
They're like human.
Here's the bicycle. My God.
God.
I thought I had it all set out up
Oh,
there.
here we go.
Okay, there we go.
tell what
So,
you're
and there he's back to
Yeah.
happens.
Or not.
I'm totally gonna find this bicycle. So anyway,
Okay,
you pedal this
all right.
bicycle for
Yeah.
1 hour.
Okay.
And it gives 24 hours of electricity.
Really?
Yes. And I can see this in my house.
Yeah.
It's a hideous, humongous, ugly thing.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking for my kids.
No, that's just the guy that's driving.
Yeah, he's pretty ugly too.
Yeah.
He's like,
So,
he's the guy that paid for
1
all the
hour.
research, I think.
Now, is this based
Yeah.
on the average household use?
This is a rural household.
Rural.
So I think
Rural.
they're talking about like
It would take
third
us all
world
day, I
countries.
think,
But he's talking about like plugging your phones and stuff like that.
But laundry and dryers and everything
I
else?
think so. That's what he's saying. I can't find a price on it. I don't know if it's actually available yet. Right now, I think they're getting it to a lot of third world countries because he wants to help people move forward. And
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
you know, a lot of these countries, you know, they're held back
Yeah.
because they don't have electricity. And like here's an example of a place that he might take one.
Sure.
But I'm looking at this
You can hook
thing.
it up to that horse, so they'd be doing a lot
Yeah,
better.
I'm looking at this thing like,
Have the horse dragon.
how do I hook this up to my kids?
Yeah.
I told you, like, your punishment. 2 days of electricity.
Yeah, 2 days of electricity right now. We're talking back. Because I walk in my living room and
Yeah.
literally my kids are like DS, Wii, tablet, laptop,
Yeah.
cell phone. It's like, really, you guys? Like, it's
Maybe that's
tough.
it. For the time that you're playing the DS, you have to be on it or something
Yeah,
like that. Or
I would
Sit there
totally
and-
that is a great invention. We had talked,
Yeah,
actually, I was talking
I
about
would love
a
to have
bicycle
this thing.
invention like that, like
Oh, really?
a stationary bike.
Yeah.
But the problem with a stationary bike is you're in your house and it's boring.
Yeah.
Right? There's no entertainment value.
Yeah.
So I thought, what if you take a stationary bike and you just put it like on a trailer and have someone drive you around town? So then that way you've got, you know, you're seeing the outside, it's fresh air.
Yes.
Yes.
You just have
Why
to
don't you
hope
just
to God
ride
they
a
don't
bike?
stop us and you go flying off.
Why wouldn't you just ride a bike then?
Shit, I never thought of that. Yeah, I could just do that. Yeah, okay. Well, then this is a good idea. So you haven't found out if this is available.
No, I looked and I don't think it is yet, but
Okay.
I'm waiting on it because I tell you,
Yeah.
I would shut off the electricity in the house to
We
the
should
TV
figure
and
out
all
how
the
to
kids'
make it.
electronics.
Let's make one. Let's, you know.
Yeah.
Well, so you've got to probably obviously hook it up somewhere to your household.
Yeah, but where he's like, you
Electricity
see where he's pedaling and
Yeah.
he's on this wall, he lights up the light bulbs and all that.
Well, I've heard of like solar power and different stuff like that where you hook it up, and if you actually make more energy than you use, it actually goes back to the energy companies.
Yes.
So you get credits on
Yes.
that. So I wonder if that would be the same situation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you had a whole house full of people that exercised or whatever, everybody does an
Or you
hour.
made him do it.
I would make them.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
you're
it's an
sitting
hour.
in the living room?
Why not? It's a contribution. 1 hour a day, everybody does it. It's a physical activity that they're forced to do. It's healthy.
Yep.
It's not like you're running a sweatshop in there. You know?
Kind of.
Yeah, my
So-
kids would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind.
So they get their exercise and they can drink water or whatever they want. You know, once they're done.
That'd be like
Yeah.
my kids sitting there playing video games, eating chips on a bicycle.
Yeah. Well, as long as he's
Well,
paying
as
the
long as
bill.
they're exercising. Sometimes with my kids, like just to get them off the freaking couch, I'm like, if you are going to watch this show,
Yeah.
you have to stand on this balance board. Like I'll make them stand on the
Yeah.
balance board,
Yeah.
or I'll make them sit on one of the big like inflatable balls.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, at least you're doing something.
Yeah.
You're not sitting on the couch.
Well, that's great.
Well, at least you're using your abs or something, you know.
That is-
So, yeah.
Well, good for them.
Anyway, that's my plan. For
Well,
my
it might be beneficial. Obviously, once you get to third world countries, but if you
Right,
got it on
right.
the market out here, the funding
Yeah.
that he raises through that might help. You know, you buy one here and it might pay
You know
for
what?
two.
I thought of that too. Yeah,
So
that might be cool.
if it's priced, everything right out the door is always more expensive. So he prices it double.
Yeah.
Every one he sells here, he gives a free one to
That
third
would
world
be
countries.
that would be really good.
He should know us
He should.
Exactly.
for these ideas.
If you're watching, come on the show, and we will
Give you lots of
gladly tell you what you should be doing with your wonderful product, even though you're obviously a genius. So,
Anyway, we will tell anybody that wants to come on the show gladly how to live their life.
yes, we will.
That's right, because we know better, because our lives are so, like, we've got everything under control.
Well, obviously, you called me the day before, and I show up. So
I know,
have some sort of
I
power.
was
Yes.
grateful.
I was excited. She's
Yeah.
like,
you.
Brandy's coming. I was like, yes.
Good, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
and then I shared our conversation with them.
And I was like, oh yes.
They're hilarious.
We should share our conversations with him once.
We should, yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
I think
yeah.
he would get a
So right.
Blush.
kick out of it. You blush.
Oh gosh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous. They're these secret conversations, and then during the show, David will like start throwing out random words like that pertain to them, and we're
A lot of them
like,
have to be like towards me.
we're like, shut up, David.
Okay.
So we've learned to like not tell David too much.
Yeah. So then Candice and I have our own little chat room.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Don't tell David.
So now you have obviously No Limits Radio TV
Yes.
on Facebook.
Yes, we
Right.
do, and we have it on Twitter also.
Okay.
And the website is nolimitsradiotv.com, and you can get all our shows there. You can connect to our Facebook and our Twitter on there also.
And if people want want you to talk about stuff, they can put suggestions in
Absolutely,
on
Yes,
Facebook or
please
something
love
like
do.
that.
to hear what you think of the show, and also any
Subjects that you want.
Yeah, we like unique things. You know, we like.
And obviously it's no limits, so if
Right.
anything they want to talk about, they
Yeah.
just post it on there and they'll be glad to.
Yeah,
Yep.
send it to any one of us. Send it on the website. Go right
Yeah.
ahead.
And watch the previous episodes to get an idea of what the show's
Yes.
about.
Yeah,
So
and
this
you,
is
you can learn a lot about
Oh,
a
Lord.
lot of things.
I hope you edited a lot of those things.
I edited a lot of it.
I've seen a couple. There's a lot of stuff in there.
There's pretty much
It's good.
history
It's good
shown
stuff.
there.
Yeah, you get a few hours you're doing nothing, kick on one of those episodes. So they're pretty
Yeah,
good.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
You watch those.
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't be here. I'm like, "Ooh, I'm going on that show."
We
He's
can make
like,
a bet.
wait, let me visualize all the stories I've heard from them.
Oh Lord. Shut that down.
Boom.
Yeah, so you can catch up on our website, nolimitsradiotv.com, and you can catch up on all the crazy things we've revealed. And
Yeah, and the
I
Periscope.
think you're looking at me.
Well, you guys have done Periscopes too outside of the show. I noticed
Yeah,
every once in a while
yep.
you guys will be out and about. So if you go watch the Periscopes, you can watch
Yes.
your other ones.
Yeah.
Which I guess I don't know if it's a new thing, but someone was talking about they Periscoped something and they said, oh, I'm also putting it over to something else so it won't be gone. In
Oh,
a day.
right.
So there's like some.
I know you can save them on your phone.
Yes.
So I've done it where I've saved it on my phone and then I put it on YouTube.
Right, but this is like
Oh, it's like
something
an
else.
app.
Something out there
Okay.
that
Okay.
obviously someone quickly came up with a way to store
To
these
save 'em,
things.
yeah.
Because she did a little tour of the ice sculptures downtown,
Oh,
and she
cool.
said, "Oh, by the way, if somebody wants to see this tour, it's not going to just disappear in an hour. I'm putting this over onto such and such."
Right.
But I can't remember what it was.
Oh, that's cool.
But there's
I gotta
something
look
out-
that up.
something out there.
Because my phone, for some reason, wasn't saving the periscopes. I don't know if it was a memory
Oh, could be,
thing.
yeah.
But I was hesitant to do Periscope because I didn't want to lose some of those things.
Right.
So I wanted to keep them.
Yeah.
Like Brittany and I,
Our makeup section.
we do makeup. Sometimes we'll Periscope us.
Makeup sessions, but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makeup.
Yeah, no.
Don't forget to tune in.
Our makeup sessions, when we put on our makeup before the show sometimes, and man, people like
They love it.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing.
And
People
we'll
don't see
take those
that.
and put 'em
They
on,
see
yeah.
you just walk out on stage and you do something, and they don't see what leads into a show,
Yeah.
what the behind the scenes. It's very interesting to know, like you said, what goes on behind the reality shows. What's really going on when they do a television series and stuff like that. Because you just see the finished final touch. I'll tell you one thing that really blew me away the most is when we flew out to LA for the premiere. They had a huge party for us, and I walked to the studio and I met all these different people individually in their offices, which was hilarious because they all knew my voice because they'd been editing my stuff.
Right, right.
So I'm walking through and I'd say something, and all of a sudden you'd see somebody
They'd be like,
peek around the corner like, "What?
Randy?"
What? What?" You know, and it's like, "Whoa, you're real." You know? It's like, oh my god, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, I've been staring at your face for a month." I'm like, "So sorry." So, but then they had a big party, so that this was all the people that worked on the production of the show, and they all got together at this mansion in LA. We watched the premiere, and there was like 40 or 50 people all sitting around, and I got up there to speak, and I got choked up because I looked around and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, here's
Wow.
40 people whose livelihood and work has in long hours has revolved around making me look good. For the
Yeah.
last 4 months, they've been doing nothing but working on this show.
Huh.
And where you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, so I got this show, la la la, and so look at me. But the reason it looks so good and polished at the end is because these 40 people were working 12-hour days and taking weekends off, or working weekends and doing all this dedicated, hard work, and that had, all their background experience got poured into that for my 22 minutes to look good. And it was like, wow. I mean, that's why I got choked up. It's like, that is really, you know, to think of all that went into it and all that dedication so that I could look good. It's very humbling.
Huh.
Yeah, definitely.
I bet they
sounds
love
amazing.
that too.
Oh,
I bet they love seeing that. You know,
They probably don't get that though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because most of the people are like, oh, whatever. I'm sorry, you know, you work for me. And I know. Actually, one of the camera guys that worked with us, he filmed a few episodes of Cake Boss, and the guy's like, you know how lucky you are to be working on this show because I'm the number one rated show. And it's like, dude, I'm union. I don't care if I'm filming you or Pee Wee Herman. I'm getting the same check. So I don't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So it is. These are the guys that make you look good, and there's so much behind it. Anybody could be a reality show star or whatever if they've got the right crew behind them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Huh.
So, yeah, from the writers to the cameramen to the sound guys to lighting.
We thank
all
our
that
people.
stuff. Yeah.
We thank our people, which is
You pay your people.
me, you, and Brittany,
And you.
and David when he's here, and Randy for coming in last
Thank you,
minute,
people.
last hours to.
Yeah, sorry I didn't have a chance to whip out a penis today. So. Wait, that didn't sound
There's
right.
still time.
That didn't sound right. I'm sorry, a big cold one, hard one. Wait.
A big cool hard one.
Oh, cold.
Anyways.
Let's talk about something hot instead.
Hot instead.
Okay, hot, and here's what it is. We were talking about this a little bit before, but electronics, which we all use.
No, we don't. I'm not addicted.
We're not addicted. Stop. But there are a bunch of viral photos going around lately and there are warnings that are going with them. People that sleep with their electronics.
Yeah.
So they put their phones under their pillow.
Oh, yeah.
Or on their bed.
Yeah.
You know, they have like, or even like, you know, iPods or whatever. So these are some of the pictures that have been on the internet.
Wow.
But just, you know, totally fried.
Now, are they all the same phones? Or are they different
No, these are
phones?
different. Oh, see,
I noticed an
now it just went
iPhone,
to, like,
but I don't.
Right.
I was
Oh,
wondering
see,
if there's
it's moving so much.
It's an iPhone.
Yeah, this is a Samsung right here. And, you know, it's not a product thing as much as it's on something soft.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, for people that put, like, their phone under their pillow.
Yeah.
You know, because...
What is the softness? Just because it's flammable? Or?
Well, it doesn't get to breathe.
Oh, okay.
So even like a laptop, my kids will leave the laptop on the couch all the time. And I'm like...
I'm notorious for that.
I am like, you gotta put, like, I give them a tray or something. I'm like, it's gotta be on a hard surface because it has to breathe underneath. It's gotta cool off because it can get really, really
so
hot.
you're saying like the feet on there keep it lifted up so the air circulates, but if it's on soft, feet are gonna sink in.
Right, and it doesn't get that air circulation that
makes
needs
sense.
to cool off. So people are getting fires like in their bed. How scary is that?
That is scary.
And so I mentioned this earlier to Brittany, and she said,
I'm one of those people.
I am.
yes. Do you? And you're
Oh,
that-
What I do is I take an extension cord because I don't want to, you know, plug my phone in and put it somewhere where I can't have access to it.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So then
in case you get a text at 2 a.m. It
Not
takes you to Tinder match at 2 a.m.
Right, and be like, hey baby, what's up? So the extension cord gets a little hot, and so does that charger
Does
because
it?
it goes right under the bed, or under the bed. It goes right under the
Pillow.
yes.
On your pillow.
See,
Yeah, that's not good.
Mine, I just leave it like that, and I don't know with this.
Is it on your
temperature-
bed?
Right on the bed. Like sometimes I'll set it off. I plug it in, and then I put the headphones in, and then I listen to, you know, either serial killer shows or
Good.
Murder, She Wrote,
That's soothing.
Rockford Files, something.
Yeah.
Don't forget to use the limestone while burying the body.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I listen to it and I fall asleep to movies or whatever.
Right.
And when I have the unlimited still from Verizon, I'm grandfathered in because I still have that. So that's my Netflix for everything. Like I travel or whatever, I always have that. So I listen to it all the time. So if I go to a hotel, just pop it in there, and I fall asleep watching TV, and so it's the same thing. I just put an earphone in and boom. Now if it's just me in a hotel room, then I can just flip it upside down, and I've got the speaker there, and I can set it next to the bed.
But it's still on the bed.
No, it would be on on the stand or something like that.
Yeah.
Because then I can just use the speaker. But if Betsy's sleeping or something like that, then I'll use the headphones. And proximity-wise, the earplugs have to be within a certain distance, so this will be in the bed.
Because they're Bluetooth.
No, the
Oh,
cord
cord.
just isn't long enough to
I
really
think you
reach.
need a longer cord.
Probably a longer cord.
Yeah, an adapter.
Or the Bluetooth would probably work too. I mean, I could do Bluetooth and probably send
Yeah.
this. But I have never. The only time I've ever had this overheat is when I periscope. I have had my phone say it's overheating, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Periscope really burns up some energy.
My phone overheats sometimes, and
On Periscope, or?
Just in general, I think, because
Okay.
I have a lot of apps going.
Oh, yeah.
But when I do sleep, it's next to my bed, so
Okay.
I have like a nightstand, and I have it on the wood right next to me.
Well,
But it's not like in the
my
fluffy stuff.
defense,
Yeah.
Okay, usually I'm talking, texting until about midnight, and
Fall
so
asleep and.
you know I gotta have that cord there so my phone doesn't die while I'm texting because nobody
Yeah.
wants that.
No.
Right.
You know, so it just gets a little hot, and then right before bed, it's like, oh here, go back over there.
Wow. I never knew that they could burst out like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's really scary. And,
So is this a new thing that's been
I
happening?
think it's
or-
starting to
Just get around.
Suddenly, people are like, you know what? There seem to be more and more of these, and part of it is just the phones are just such a part of our life.
Right.
Here's another one.
But it seems like you would have to have that
you know.
underneath something and like
Some kindling and.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like even like laying on top of it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, because I do. I'm addicted to it. I freak
Yeah.
out if I don't have it.
Oh, look at this.
we all
I mean,
do
this
now.
was just like a
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really scary.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
Phones are such a part of our life, and there's
Well, luckily-
there's such an attachment to us now.
A lot of
it's-
bedding, luckily, is fireproof. I mean, a lot of
Is it?
a lot of
Like
mattresses
cotton
and
sheets
stuff.
and stuff. Oh, yeah.
They tend to. I mean, because that's the thing that they do burn. So that's a lot of.
Yeah, that was probably
newer
from like
things.
when people were smoking.
But still,
more
like
and
this
stuff,
is
yeah.
because this is pretty contained. I mean, yes, the
Yeah,
phone burned,
but it is,
But if you
but
look
yeah.
around it, it stopped right there. Like
Right,
if this would have
yeah.
been a big fire, the whole thing would have been burned up.
Yeah.
The fire was contained in that area. The melting, it probably isn't the mattress burning or the sheet burning. It's the phone burning, and then this stuff is just kind of melting around it.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Just to
that's
think that my baby can
unlucky.
burn is not
good.
unsettling.
No.
Your
It's just-
baby.
My baby.
She's like, what will I do if my phone burns? I don't care about my
So she's
cheap
like,
mattress.
yeah, I don't care if it catches on fire in my bed. I just need my data. So
She's like, what happens if I lose all my Tinder connections?
yes,
And I'm all alone.
And I'm all alone. It's
sign up for
2
Grinder
a.m.
Finder. And you can
What is
Grindr. Grinders are for gay men.
What are you saying?
the backup, the storage. The
That I-
storage all.
Grindr. What? I never heard of that. What?
It's like a cloud thing.
Grinder
I
Finder?
made that up.
Oh, thank God. I'm like, that's
No,
where,
like-
that's where I met my husband.
You're on the wrong site.
Oh,
No
whoops.
wonder he was gay. He was
hit
on
the wrong button. But no, I mean you can back up. Like I back up all my data and my contacts and stuff with Verizon.
Right.
So if I lost my phone, I can go on and it'll download.
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
do that on Google.
Okay, yeah.
Like I have all my contacts and everything.
But it
in Google
doesn't
and my
back up
calendar.
your text though, right?
Oh, that would be a good thing for me.
No, but that would
Your what,
that
your
would
text?
to have the text back up.
Or not back up.
You don't want
lose it?
them backed up.
Yeah.
don't want nobody finding out.
You
They get
lose.
sent to the cloud.
Yeah, you lose
You send a picture, it gets
But-
sent to the cloud.
I have seen.
So when I die, somebody's gonna be like, "Why do you have all these dick pics?"
Wow.
Here
She
lies
must have been a
Brittany.
doctor.
Whoa!
She did a lot of diagnosing because people were sending her body
Send
parts
your
to
anatomy
analyze.
pictures all the time.
She was
Even
a
on your
penis doctor.
on your gravestone, they'll start having digital displays on gravestones at some point, and you could just people could just
Scroll
flip
through.
through it.
Yeah.
Be
Twitter
terrible.
feeds.
Like, let's flip through Brittany's 30th here.
Yeah. Oh, that's all stored. Well,
Let's
the
not.
Seek Droid is what I have on here, and so it's an application that if I lose my phone or whatever, I can find it or whatever.
yeah.
But it also has spots on there where you can wipe your phone. So, for instance, if your phone is stolen, you can go on there and wipe everything off your phone, so you won't have to find.
Like you
worry
go
about
online.
somebody finding your dick pics or whatnot. So
Or
breaking
ones
into your
that have been
phone.
sent to you.
Yes.
Yeah, you missed.
Well, not your dick. I mean, other people's dicks on your phone. So let's say you had one.
A couple weeks ago, Britt and I were talking about, we were out together at this nearby place. And I was on, she was in the bathroom and I was on Tinder. And so I'm like, swipe, mostly left. But I swiped right on this guy, and he immediately messaged me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I just kind of started chatting with him. And then Brittany came back, and I'm like, oh, look, this guy, like, just connected with him. And he started messaging me, look. And so I'm like this, and she's like, I have his phone number. And she looked in her phone.
Oh, my God.
And it was a guy that she had texted with. So then she messaged him, and she's like, hey. And he's like, what's up? Blah, 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 blah.
So you guys are both messaging?
Yeah. And so she's like, why? She's like, why are you messaging my friend or something like that?
Why are you hitting on my friend?
Oh, yeah. And he's like, I'm not hitting on your friend. And so then I messaged him. I'm like, you're not hitting on me? So I'm going back and forth.
And then it was soliciting us, 2 for the price of 1.
Oh, of course.
Yes, that.
Yeah, of
and
course.
He ended up sending her a dick pic, like
For you.
and said, "Oh, that was for you."
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
God. Third
okay,
party
first of
dick
all,
pic,
I
that's
don't
the
want it.
So I sent it to her because I didn't want it.
Hot potato.
Here's my phone.
You take it.
I'm not drunk enough.
Well, then a friend of hers showed up, and he was hanging out with us, and so he took over the conversation with this guy as Brittany.
Yes.
Oh,
So
that's
he's
always
just
nice,
like,
yeah.
he's saying all these things. It was pretty hilarious.
It was a great night.
Yeah.
We need more.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. So it was just funny how we're played it off. Because I was kind of talking, because I'm looking for a relationship. So I was talking to the guy about like, oh, you know, where you at, what you looking for and all this. So he's doing like all this relationship talk with me, and he's like sending her.
Oh,
dick
sure.
pics.
That's
It was so stupid.
classy.
Very.
Isn't it though? I know.
It's a class.
Everybody wants a dick pic.
Yeah, well, not me. I mean, maybe everybody else.
Well, I mean, then you can use it for your ice sculpture.
Yeah, that's a model.
Yeah.
Right? Because
You don't want some of the ones I get.
Yeah. Why is your ice sculpture bent?
Why is it so small?
The one that guy said was like, oh, he said he was like flaccid in it or something. It's like, this is a lot.
See, that's the problem with these guys. There's no imagination. If I was sending dick pics, I would have like a little hat on there, and a little mustache, and a smiley face, and a little coat, and then do a little dance.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a little music in the background. You don't just send something out there, Bear. Just have some fun with it. Dress it up like a Barbie doll.
Okay, I'm going to try to find this really quick while we're talking.
What are you finding?
Well, there is this guy. No, there's this guy. It may be an Instagram account, but literally he has all these dick pics, but instead he's made them into like little characters and stuff, and he's done the cartoon thing.
That's creative. There was a guy that did that on public television.
But he does it.
There was, yes.
He did dick pics on public television.
He had a little dick puppet that he did, puppet show with a penis on public television.
No.
Research it somewhere on there. It's he did it years ago.
Oh,
I don't remember what ended up happening with the whole thing. I think it
She's
was
going for it now.
yes, but it was.
No, I'm looking at the Instagram. I don't even know what he called him. Dick cartoon guy.
Be creative, you know. Have a little creativity.
Oh, maybe
Thinks
this
my
is
dick
it.
does?
Thinks my dick does. Oh no, Snapchat. Here's what it is.
See Dick run.
Okay. Now we're all like looking at
Okay, now we're on our electronics.
We
We're
only,
gonna burn up.
yeah, I know. We only have a few minutes left.
So we're all looking up penis puppets.
Anyway, okay, so
It's on what?
this one's on. This is a story on BuzzFeed. I think he does it on Tumblr, and man, Tumblr things my dick does. Oh, here it is. Oh, look. Okay, so
Scuba diving?
No, he's having fun in the kitchen. So can you see this? Look at this. This is so hilarious. This is his actual penis. Okay.
Looks like scrambled eggs.
Yeah, he's got an egg. His penis is wearing a little eggshell as a hat.
Right.
So having fun in the kitchen, and he puts little cartoon faces on it. And then here he is enjoying a bath. That one's
Aww. He looks like Oscar Mayer.
It does. Oh, just hanging. My God.
This baloney.
Are we allowed to show that?
I don't know.
But
Oh my God,
The tiny had too much wine.
So are those drawings? Or
Ouch!
those,
Stop.
are those like string hands that he tied?
Cuddling with a friend. No, he's just like, I think he just positions it and
Wow.
how I feel when I wake up.
Wow. Looks like.
Like, is this? Pay attention to me. Help. Oh, he's sealed in a package. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Okay. That's the best one. I like that. That's the best looking one.
Yeah, so
Wow.
people get very creative. So the very thing you talked about.
Yeah, see, that's have some creativity with it, folks, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, women don't want to see that, but, you know, they do like humor. So.
Yeah, we do. And if somebody, like, honest to God, I would pay a lot more attention to them if they did that, only because it would be hilarious.
That was, when I was looking for somebody, that's what I was doing. I was going on those sites just to make people laugh. Like, I would tell them I was like a ninja hooker or something.
Yeah.
Like that. You know what I mean? What do you do? I'm a ninja hooker. What? You got it.
That's what the world needs more of.
Yes, humor.
In, out, and done.
Yes.
In, out, and done.
But that's the problem.
Joker.
Guys go straight for what the guys want. They don't think it's so crazy because that's what the first thing they think of is what they want. They don't think about
Right. They think I'd really like a pic of her, so I bet she'll really like a picture of me. No, like that's
Don't do it.
Right. If I send my little shrivel up guy, then I'm gonna get some boob pictures back. It doesn't happen.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
So-
it is. Like it's such a huge disconnect, and.
Yeah. If I was a girl, I would rather see a boob pic than a penis pic, because I think
I don't
boobs
want
are.
to see any boobs.
But they're better look. Boobs are prettier than penises, I think.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to see anybody's boobs.
Well,
though.
I'm just,
I don't either.
well, I guess it's a good thing I'm not a girl. I wouldn't be fitting in. I'm just saying. I just think that women naked are more aesthetically pleasing than men naked are. And
I don't think anybody naked's really all that
well,
great. But
no, that's true too.
Now I'm a fan.
I'll
of
give you
naked.
that. But
in person, yes.
But I think if you took a survey, I think most people would say, male or female, that I think naked women look better than naked men in general.
It depends on what you're looking at.
That's my theory. It's
Yeah, I definitely like.
Because in my mind
I'm not
right
saying
now,
that you
I'm
guys-
just thinking
Men's
of
better.
what I could see naked right now, and I'm really liking my mental image.
And it's male.
Yes, there ain't no women about it.
I don't know. But that's just my theory.
Okay, that would be interesting. If you have an opinion on that, we'd like to.
You know
hear
what?
that,
I might
but
go
I'm
on
really
Twitter,
wondering.
and I might. Would you rather see a man naked or a woman naked?
Well-
And I think we'd have to ask: are you?
Here's where I see, because
Yeah,
here's the thing: is that 90% of the men out there are going to say, "Would you mind getting a boob picture?" You think they're going to say no?
Not every guy likes to see a naked something.
Okay, but if you ask the women if they want to see a penis picture, no, right? So
Right.
as a whole, you're going to have more people saying they're going to want to see a
I
female
agree.
Right,
naked
because it would be men answering.
than a woman, because women are going to say no in general, whereas the guys are going to say.
Yeah, so that'd be a tough.
So I
one.
would say that across the board, in a general survey, that's probably how it would come out.
I get
That's-
what you're going with that.
So maybe we'd have to say, are you male? And would you rather see a naked female or a naked male? And then we ask, are you female? Would you rather see a naked male or a naked female?
Yeah.
But then that would pretty much divide, like, just.
I think you just have to say,
sexuality.
would you want to see a naked picture of the opposite sex, or not even the opposite sex, but your sexual preferred?
Yeah.
preference?
Okay.
Would you like to see a naked picture of your sexual
This is
preference?
really
It's getting complicated nowadays.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we should probably wrap it up, and we've just blasted through 2 hours.
Wow, that's been 2 hours.
Yes.
This is the fastest
I
2
know,
hours
I
on
know.
radio TV.
I know. It is. It goes fast because we have a lot of fun and we just get talking. And,
Yeah. But go back. No Limit Radio TV.
Yep. Nolimitsradiotv.com is
Right.
our website, and from there you can connect to our Facebook, our
Twitter.
Twitter,
Periscope.
Yep, Periscope. Follow
Everything.
us on there and
Grindr.
learn all about it.
MySpace.
It's Grindr.
MySpace.
We're not on Grindr.
Well, I don't know.
MySpace.
We gotta be
I
cover
don't
all
know.
the
You
bases.
might be on Grindr.
Oh, God, don't bring
MySpace.
that up in front of them. They'll be like,
Twitter.
why do you guys always say I'm
Flickr. You have a Flickr?
I don't.
Oh,
no,
you guys should
we
have a
don't.
Flickr.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll have to work on that. Vine, I do want to get a
Vine.
Vine started.
Vine's
a
a
good
good
one.
one.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we're working on that stuff.
Yeah.
But go to our website
Yes.
and you can watch all our old shows there. You can listen to all of our old
Leave
shows
comments,
there.
suggestions.
Yeah, and please let us know on our social media on Facebook and Twitter, which if you just search NoLimitsRadioTV.com, you will find those.
Everywhere.
Share it with
That's
your
right.
friends. Tell your friends
That's right.
and your mom.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely tell your mom.
Don't tell my mom.
Don't tell my mom. My mom.
Don't ever tell my mom.
won't watch the show. She already told me. She watched
My
it.
mom
once. She listened to it once, and she's like, I can't take that. I'm like, all right, Mom, that's okay.
This is why we don't talk to you.
That's right. Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Have a good night.
Thank you.